Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. Today is Monday, September 17th, 2018. I'm Megan Shandel.
And I'm Michael Schuley. Here's what's happening now.
Saturday afternoon, 6 children and 1 adult were injured at PPG Paints Arena during the Shrine Circus. Department of Public Safety says the camel, quote, got spooked after a child threw a shovel at the animal. The witness claims a child threw a shovel at the camel's feet. Also breaking news from Monroeville, an SUV carrying 7 passengers lost control Sunday evening and flipped into a creek. Around 9:45 p.m., an Audi SUV crashed into a metal barrier and flipped into Thompson Run Creek. The car was traveling on Old William Penn Highway. All of the occupants were transported to the hospital.
People living in 3 Massachusetts towns have returned home following a deadly gas explosion and fires last week. Explosions in more than 60 gas fires rocked the town of Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover on Thursday. At least 1 person was killed and several more injured. Thousands were forced to leave their homes. National Transportation Safety Board Chairman Robert Sumwalt says the incident was caused by too much pressure in the gas lines.
Since the beginning of this event on Thursday afternoon, people have been referring to this as an overpressure situation, and the NTSB can confirm at this time that this was indeed an overpressure situation. By way of background, gas is supposed to flow to their customers at about 1/2 psi. We believe that the gas did indeed flow into homes at significantly greater flow rates and pressure.
Electricity was restored to a majority of the homes in the area. Gas service will take much longer to be restored as experts assess the damage to the system. Residents are asked to not turn on gas meters on their own and to try to report any damage that may have been done to gas-run appliances.
A man golfing at the Bonnie Brook Gold Course in Butler County hit a golf ball too far Sunday afternoon. When he went to find his ball in a neighboring yard, a man threatened the golfer with a pistol. The homeowner will be cited with terroristic threats, simple assault, and harassment.
Fox Chapel's Kerr Elementary had classes canceled again today due to ongoing air quality tests after mold was found in 3 of the building's rooms last Thursday. The school was also closed last Friday and air quality tests were conducted, but the results of those tests have not come back yet. A study by Lending Tree ranked Pittsburgh number 2 of the biggest metro areas in the country on millennial debt. The average debt of a Pittsburgh millennial is $26,403. This ranks behind San Antonio, which has an average debt of $27,122. The study used student, auto, credit cards, personal loans, and other loans in order to get to the number. Mortgage debt was not used in the study.
Police say a Border Patrol agent in Texas murdered 4 women. With more on the story is Nick Hederick.
A U.S. Border Patrol agent in Texas has confessed to killing 4 people. That's according to the arrest affidavit for 35-year-old Juan Ortiz. Authorities are calling him a serial killer. They said all of his victims worked as prostitutes. Ortiz was arrested Saturday in Webb County on 4 murder charges after a woman escaped from him and alerted police. Police found Ortiz at a gas station in Laredo, but he fled the scene on foot and ran to a Ramada Inn, where he was found hiding in the bed of a pickup truck. The murders happened between September 3rd and September 15th. It is unclear if there are more victims. For RMU Century Media, I'm Nick Hederick.
Ortiz worked as a U.S. Border Patrol agent for 10 years and is also a U.S. Navy veteran.
After finally opening from construction service on the library portion of the Port Authority's Blue Line, the T was suspended for several hours yesterday after a tree fell on the tracks. The tree was removed and service was restored yesterday afternoon around 4 o'clock. A man in Pennsylvania is the target of many federal agencies. A Pennsylvania man who is accused of having made threats towards President Donald Trump and other officials may have stolen a truck from a Pennsylvania business that he is also believed to have burglarized earlier in the month. For the past 2 months, the U.S. Marshals, the FBI, and the U.S. Secret Service have been looking for 27-year-old Sean Christie from McAdoo, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh's amusement park Kennywood wrapped up its 2018 summer operating season Sunday, marking the official close of summer. Speaking of roller coasters, a new study conducted on the Thunder Mountain Railroad roller coaster at Walt Disney World after multiple patients claimed they had passed kidney stones on the attraction. After 20 trials, it was concluded the ride does help pass kidney stones.
Authorities believe a man who died after being attacked in the water off of Massachusetts was bitten by a shark. RMU-TV's John Blinn has more.
26-year-old Arthur Medici was bitten around noon near Newcomb Hollow Beach. Witnesses said Medici and another man were boogie boarding about 30 yards out. He was given first aid and CPR at the scene but died at a Cape Cod hospital in Hyannis. The official cause of death will be determined by the medical examiner. If a shark attack is confirmed, it would be the first fatal attack by the creatures in state waters in more than 50 years. For RMU Live, I'm John Blinn.
Demonstrators gathered outside of the Valmar Gardens complex in Penn Hills as about 20 families living in the buildings have received eviction notices stating that the property is condemned. The demonstrators said they have been paying their rent, but the owner of the complex was not paying utilities. Just hours after a fire destroyed several homes in Harrison Township, crews began to tear down houses. Firefighters said it took more than 5 hours to get the flames under control.
Teen Gabe Casanissi made his way to Bethel Park to escape the tropical storm Florence. His girlfriend paid for his trip north. Though he reluctantly left his mother and sisters in North Carolina, he said, quote, "I just wanted to get my family out. I don't think my mom wanted me to go because she wanted me to help, but at the same time, she wanted me to be safe," end quote. The strongest storm of the year, Typhoon Mangkhut, roared across Hong Kong with winds strong enough to bounce a sofa like a ball.
And this video proves it. You can see the piece of furniture tumbling over and over as though it was weightless, but that's because of the strength of the wind. Hong Kong's typhoon alert warning was at its highest level, and the city all but shut down as the massive storm moved through. Typhoon Mangkhut made landfall in mainland China around 5 p.m. local time Sunday. Chinese state TV says at least 2 people have already been killed in the country. Officials in the Philippines say Mangkhut killed 54 people and left 42 missing there. For RMU Live, I'm Nick Hederick.
Thank you, Nick. The East Coast is feeling the effect of Tropical Storm Florence. Jordan, what are we going to expect here in Pittsburgh?
Thanks, Megan. As we look at today's forecast, we're expecting a lot more rain to hit from Hurricane Florence. As we look at today's forecast, we have a high of 73 with a low of 66. Humidity is at 99%, chance of precipitation 100%, rain through a lot the rest of the day. Later on, we'll see the rest of my forecast. For right now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Jordan. A touching tribute from a Pittsburgh Steelers player to honor the late rapper Mac Miller, running back for the Steelers. James Conner honors the late hometown rapper, Mac Miller, with custom-made cleats. The athlete tweeted, quote, "Thank you, Mac," end quote. The pictures of the shoes that have Miller's face printed along with song titles.
Pittsburghers are not happy with the Steelers after they dropped yesterday's game to the Chiefs. I'm here with sports, obviously. Welcome to Shuley on Sports, and here is what happened. The Steelers had their home opener yesterday against the Kansas City Chiefs, hoping to rebound from their from their tie in Week 1 to the Cleveland Browns. Unfortunately, things did not go that great for the black and gold. Kansas City would jump out to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter. However, the Steelers were able to bounce back and tie the game up before halftime at 21 apiece. Unfortunately, though, for the Steelers, the black and gold would not be able to keep pace with the Chiefs as quarterback Patrick Mahomes would go on to throw for 6 touchdown passes on the way to leading the Chiefs to a 42-37 victory over the Steelers. As for the Pirates, they were able to take 2 out of 3 games from the Milwaukee Brewers, losing Friday night by a score of 7-4, and then going on to win 3-1 and then 3-2 yesterday as Trevor Williams continued to be dominant, throwing 6 scoreless innings.
Ain't no palaces, so I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince. They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
A student from the University of Alabama was shot this weekend. With more on the story is John Blinn.
One person was shot Sunday afternoon in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's the home of the University of Alabama. The shooting happened outside of a restaurant. University officials say the victim is a student. The victim's injuries do not appear to be serious, and police have arrested a suspect in the shooting. Reporting for RMU-TV, I'm John Blinn.
Authorities in Wilkes-Barre say that a lost dog that was found at a convenience store led to the discovery of the body of its owner, who had been stabbed in the back. 58-year-old Fred Booty was found dead on Friday after his golden retriever was found at a Turkey Hill store less than a mile away. Police found the front door of the home open and then found the victim and a large bloody knife in a bedroom, along with signs of a struggle. A gas can with the spout underneath the victim's body was found, along with a blanket that had been partially burned. No arrests were immediately announced. 2 people were injured on Sunday when a vehicle in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas crashed into a Sam's Club. A store employee was sent to the hospital as a precaution, while the driver was sent with a reported broken leg. Another crash, this time a bus in Miami, injured multiple people. With more on the story is RMU-TV's Jonah Hoy.
10 people were hurt when a Miami-Dade transit bus crashed into a building Sunday. Officials say the bus hit a truck first, then a pillar outside a clothing store. 2 people in the truck were seriously injured. 8 people on the bus had minor injuries. A witness says the truck was speeding and ran a red light before hitting the bus. Police shut down the intersection to traffic following the accident and urged people to avoid the area. Officials say a structural engineer will assess the building to determine how to safely move the bus. This is Jonah Hoy, and this has been RMU Live.
After a Kentucky family learned their 2-year-old son with brain cancer may only have a few months to live, they moved Christmas up so he can enjoy the holiday. Brad Underwood reports.
With a loud entrance, members of the Boone County Sheriff's Office and SWAT show off their toys for 2-year-old Brody Allen.
Look at that! Whoa.
Brody even got to sit in the driver's seat. But as cool as all this is, the officers have nothing on the next surprise guest. As he gets closer, Brody sees Santa, or as he likes to call him, Ho-Ho. Brody's cancer is terminal, so Christmas is coming in September for him and his family.
To have so many people across the world reach out to my son and to tell him Merry Christmas and we're thinking about you and we love you is just the greatest gift that I as a father could never give them.
Earlier in the week, the Christmas decorations started going up in Brody's neighborhood. Then cards started coming in the mail, and they haven't stopped.
We get people wishing him Merry Christmas from Belgium, Germany, Russia, Tasmania, Italy, all over the world. It's crazy, but he loves it.
All the presents, all the cards, and all the wishes may not compare to what Santa brought Brody today, a new puppy named Lucy.
Like your puppy?
While the week has been full of visits, gifts, and attention, Mackenzie Allen says each night the family has its time with Brody.
We still have our private time, and it's great. We just sit on the floor, and play with his new toys that he got, and fall asleep watching movies or talking or giggling, whatever it may be. So we still get that family time.
And that's something that Brody's cancer can't and won't take from him, the love that surrounds him. Brad Underwood, Local 12 News.
You want it back? Yeah, I'll give it back. Next week, a Christmas parade will take place in Brody's neighborhood. Mike, when we come back, we're going to learn about a former NFL quarterback that is making a stop at RMU.
Also, we're going to learn about a man who found a purse with $10,000 in it, and he worked to give the money back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And be sure to tune into our other shows, RMU Live Mondays at 1 p.m. and Fridays at noon, Sports Talk in the Berg, and RMU Tonight Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and Colonial Sports Center Thursday night at 9:30 here on RMU TV.
Which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Hi, Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to RMU Live. As we take another look at today's forecast, we're looking at a lot of rain with a high of 73 with a low of 76. Now as we look into the hourly forecast for the rest of the day, we're looking at scattered thunderstorms all the way throughout the day until later tonight. With a little bit of drop in temperature as we get towards later in the evening. Now as we look at tomorrow's weather, a little bit less rain with a high of 81 and a low of 63, humidity at 60% with a 50% chance of rain for the rest of the day. When we check back in later, we'll check the 5-day forecast, but for now, we'll send it back to Mike and Megan.
Thank you, Jordan. Former President Barack Obama will be making stop across the state in Philadelphia. Obama will visit in less than a week with the goal to boost re-election campaigns of Democratic U.S. Senator Bob Casey and Democratic Governor Tom Wolf. Currently, the two are leading polls over two Republican challengers.
Former Pittsburgh Steeler and RMU alumnus Charlie Batch came back and spoke to students in Hopwood Hall, and he was invited by the Delta Tau Delta fraternity. Batch spoke about the importance of mental health, specifically in athletes. Batch received his master's degree last semester in organizational communication. John Lawson, professor of English, was selected as the recipient of the 2018 Robert T. Oliver Lifetime Achievement Award from the Pennsylvania Communication Association. This award recognizes contributions of an outstanding PCA member within 5 years of retirement. Lawson will be honored at the award ceremony on October 6th at Seton Hill University in Greensburg.
One California teen is the definition of a good Samaritan. He stumbled upon more money than he'd ever seen in his life, and he did the right thing. Casey Drescher has the story.
I feel that if everyone did the right thing, then this world would be a better place.
And Rami Zaini did the right thing to the tune of 10 grand.
You got out of your car?
Yes.
You like pulled over?
I pulled over, got out of the car, went to the road. There was no one around, so I picked up the purse and tried to find whose it was.
On his way home from school, the 16-year-old noticed a black purse in the middle of the road in the Turnpike area Wednesday.
Looked inside, tried to find any identification, Is there a phone number I can call them?
But the high school junior found something pretty important in there. More cash than he's ever seen in his life.
We have seen people do the right thing many times before. We've had purses that have been dropped that had a large amount of cash in them, but I think this probably is the first time that we had a purse that had $10,000 in it.
After consulting with his parents, the teen brought the precious cargo to the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office.
To me, I figured this is the right thing to do if I take it and find whoever's purse it was, because if the roles were reversed and I had lost something with a significant sum of money inside, I know I would want it back for sure.
The purse and cash have since been reunited with their rightful owner, who's said to be very grateful.
This woman was going on a hike and she said she probably left it on the roof of her car and drove away and didn't realize it.
And as a reward, the woman gave Rami $100.
Just makes you feel good about humanity and that there are people out here that will do the right thing.
In Santa Barbara, I'm Casey Drescher reporting.
What a great story and an even better guy. Thank you, Casey.
A new and innovative sport landed in Pittsburgh this summer. RMU Live's Gage Golding has more on soccer golf.
Soccer and golf, two sports that you may never think of at the same time or together, but a man in Mars, Pennsylvania had a vision, and he brought soccer golf here to Pittsburgh.
We had a lot of land here that we couldn't do anything with, and we were trying to come up with a great idea. So I took a quick trip down to Myrtle Beach in May, and just walking by, I happened to look down and I saw one of these pins with the cup, and the cup was this big around, and I was thinking it was making fun of golfers saying they need a hole this big to hit the ball into, and then I realized it's a real sport.
It only took 2 months for Viverito and his team at Bethel Mars Golf to map out, construct, and open the new soccer golf course in July.
Right here where you see the practice area used to be, I think, 10 tees where you would just blast the balls that way driving. We couldn't do that anymore because the housing plan is right there. It's only 170 yards away.
Although the idea was new to Viverito and guests at the course, Bethel Mars Golf is not the first soccer golf course in the Pittsburgh area. Pheasant Ridge Golf in Gibsonia and Cabin Greens Golf Course in Freeport also offer soccer golf. The one thing that Viverito wanted to make sure is that his course was different, and he allows players to wear soccer cleats on the course.
Even if you can blast the ball 100 yards, you still got to know how to play a green.
But soccer golf enthusiasts are not the only players that come to the course. Soccer teams and coaches from around the area and even farther have been bringing their players out to enjoy the new sport.
I mean, the most important thing about this is, letting the girls have a chances to play around and enjoy something and do something that isn't obviously soccer.
It's a time they can come out, do something a little bit different, but actually still get their practice in and get to have fun with their friends.
Although soccer golf is only a couple months old here in the Pittsburgh area, the organization says that families and teams from hours away have flocked here to try out the newest sport here in the Pittsburgh area. Reporting from Mars, Pennsylvania, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media.
Bethel Mars Golf plans on staying open as long as they can this year. President of Robert Morris University, Dr. Chris Howard, made an appearance this weekend, and it was not one on campus. We will have the full story for you.
And a look at the full 5-day forecast and what you can expect this weekend.
But I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after Upper Morris is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
President of Robert Morris University, Dr. Chris Howard, was at Heinz Field on Sunday. Howard was honored on the field before the game for his 21 years of service in the Air Force. Howard was a lieutenant colonel. We have more on RMU Sports with Mike Shuley. Mike?
The women's soccer team fell in both of their games this weekend, the first of which was on Friday, and it was a 3-1 loss to the Akron Zips. Then yesterday, the Colonials fell to the Yale Bulldogs by a score of 2-1. The men's soccer team fared much better this weekend as they were able to pick up their first victory of the season on Saturday after they defeated the LaSalle Explorers by a score of 1-0. Gilmar Fonk scored the lone goal for the Colonials, and this was his first as a Colonial. As for the volleyball team, they finished off their non-conference schedule by hosting the RMU Sheridan Invitational. The Colonials won 2 out of their 3 games this weekend. The first win came against the Eastern Michigan Eagles in 5 sets, and the second win came against the University of Houston Cougars. This was also in 5 sets. And this one was extra special for the Colonials as Houston entered the game with a 13-1 record. That was very impressive for the Colonials to pick up the victory, and they will start conference play on Friday as they travel to New Brighton, Connecticut to take on Central Connecticut State University. And now we're going to toss it over to our weather guy, Jordan here. Luckily for us, sports wasn't affected too much by weather, but Jordan, what's it looking like for the rest of the week?
All right, thanks, Mike. As we're looking at today's forecast, once again, we have a high of 73 with a low of 66. Very cloudy day the rest of the day today. As we move on to tomorrow, a little bit less gloomy with a high of 81 and a low of 63 with only a 50% chance of rain. Now, as we go into our 5-day forecast, today, Wednesday and Thursday, still looking at a little bit rain with a little bit high temperatures, but as we get later in the week, looking at less rain until the weekend around Sunday here with a high of 70 and a low of 57. That's it for your 5-day forecast. Now, send it back to Mike and Megan at the desk.
For the latest on news throughout the week, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit RMUcenturymedia.com. For Megan Shandel, I'm Michael Shuley. Have a great week.